He's beautiful.
Yeah, they are just seem to be a real brilliant breed.
The Royal Frenchels are true companions. We are Howard and Carolyn, and we've been Royal Frenchel parents, what, for 12, 14 years, 12 years, about?
Sounds about right.
We come from a background of having black labs,
Golden retrievers,
and
the big dogs.
the big dogs. And our first Frenchel sold us for life. I don't think we'll ever go back. We started with one, and he lived with a black lab and a golden retriever, and we've since, that's Buzzy.
There's a picture of
Buzzy.
late Buzz Harper.
Buzz Harper. And we shortly then got Little Bear, who's a long hair, and Roscoe, who's, I think he's considered a small or medium, I'm not sure. But the other ones were minis and micro minis. So let's see.
A Little Bear's a long hair, as you can see, which is, I think, pretty unique. And he's got the long hair on his ears. A lot of people think he's bred with a Papillon or something, but he's a purebred Royal Frenchel, and he's got all that attitude in him, for sure. He's a prince.
He's beautiful.
Yeah.
A showstopper at the dog park.
Yeah. This guy, Little Bear, is definitely stops the crowd at the dog park. They want to know more about him. Okay, so I grew up with my family. Pretty much uniquely, we had golden retrievers, and many generations of goldens, and they were lovely dogs. I've got fond memories of them, but they needed a lot of exercise. They shedded quite a bit. There's constantly long golden hair all over our house and our furniture. So one of the striking differences between those breeds and these guys is that these guys don't shed. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's not noticeable. It's not something that we are cleaning up after all the time. In fact, I don't think Little Bear sheds at all.
But I'd say the big difference emotionally is that the Royal Frenchels are true companions. And you can't say that until you have one, because I honestly believed that my golden was a true companion, and my black lab was a true companion. But it's just a little bit different, where these guys are so bonded to you, and when you hug them, they hug you back.
Yeah.
They want to cuddle. They want to play. They want to give. It's sure the housekeeping is easier. It is. On a lot of levels.
They're low maintenance on the physical scale, but you're right. On the energetic scale, there's something about this breed that it's hard to put your finger on until you experience it.
And they're smart.
Super smart. They're super intuitive, and the bond that results from that is like no other breed that I've ever lived with.
So Buzz Harper, who was a micro mini, used to travel with us all the time.
Yeah, what did he weigh? About 12,
15?
Yeah, 12 to 15 pounds, something like that. So he fit right in Carolyn's shoulder bag, and literally would go everywhere with us. I mean, whether it was into Costco or on a flight, he would just sit under her chair in a small little pet carrier, and then as soon as the plane took off, unzip, and out he'd come and sit on our lap for the whole flight. And whether it was flight to the East Coast from Seattle, he was good to go. I mean, he was the most low maintenance, fantastic dog of all times.
We've taken him to Florida, Wisconsin, New York, California, New Mexico, Arizona, camping, Canada, you name it. Buzz was just
every restaurant we would go to, he would come and just sit.
I have a bag, and he'd hear the keys, and he'd hop in the bag, and he'd come to work. Whether it was, we have a restaurant, so he'd come to my office. He'd sit at a table. We bring him we snuck him in everywhere. I'll tell you that. We snuck him. It was the movies. He came everywhere. And it's not to say that Roscoe or Little Bear couldn't, but the moment in time for Buzz, when Buzz had two older and bigger dogs with him, we couldn't take the golden or the black lab with us. And I wasn't, Buzz he was trained and he came. It was so easy. Little Bear, I would say, having been raised with bigger dogs, the training process, it's a thing, the training process with big dogs. And you need to have them trained because otherwise they weigh almost as much as me, and that's a problem. Or they go to the bathroom in the house. That's a problem. Little Bear came to us and he might've been 8 weeks old, and he's never had one mistake in the house. Yeah. Not one mistake in the house. He came and he was so tiny, and he watched Buzz and he watched Willow, and he learned from them and went outside. He knows how to bark. He just waits by the back door, and then he'll make one bark and it's time to go out. And that's not anything we did. Yeah, he's so smart.
There's literally no house training at all. I don't recall with
none.
Any of the 3 dogs. They just, maybe one or day 2 until they figured out, where the respective doors were in the house. But
none.
Boy, I mean, they are just seem to be a real brilliant breed.
Incredibly smart.
Yeah, and it's not lost on our friends too that come over that are dog owners. I mean, everybody just falls in love with these guys. There's some sort of energetic bond to them. They have such an open heart. Again, it's hard to describe it unless you experience it. And,
they don't compete with each other. Other dogs I've had, if it's meal time, you put the food down and they'll compete with each other on whose is whose or what. And the dogs seem to know, they love they care for each other as much as they care for us. I mean, it's like an extension of having children almost.
Yeah, they really are part of the family, like no other dog that I've had. I mean, when we're away from them, we truly feel it in our heart. I mean, we were just 4 days in San Diego, and we just every day we're like, we miss the boys. And our daughter was here visiting on the spring break from college, and she would take videos of the dogs playing or licking each other or whatever. And it's just it's a different bond than we've ever had with any other dogs. Yeah. Really, really fantastic.
Good boys.
Really,
good boys.
I mean, our life is so improved by living with these dogs. It's you have to experience it to really understand what I'm saying. But we're very grateful to Wendy and Arturo for the work that they've done, and we have to be careful because every time we go down to visit them, we come back with another Frenchel. Although I think I could probably have 20 of them. They're so great. They're a little bit on the pricey side of things, but
oh no,
when you consider you'll spend $3 or $4, $5 grand on a purebred golden or whatever, these guys, they're easy. They're just with every cent. With that being said, I mean, almost a day doesn't go by where I think how would my life be the same if I didn't wake up next to these guys every day. And the love that they give back is just it's immeasurable, and they would be a value at twice the price. And we've had 2 friends that have purchased Royal Frenchels just because they've seen the bond that we have with our dogs, and now they get it too. They're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell us earlier? And these dogs are great. I've never heard anybody complain about the price. They're well worth it. Yeah, great dogs, best dogs ever. And if I have any say in it, I will always have one by my side for the rest of my life. And I think they are going to help me make it to 100 because they just lower my heart rate, and they just lower my stress level. Every day I come home from a crazy world and open that door, and there they are to greet me. And just so compassionate and uncompromising in their love and affection and loyalty. They make life better. What can I say? These are great dogs, even if they didn't have that connection, but they have that connection, which really, in my opinion, makes it makes him so unique and so worth the money, such a value for the price.
When Buzzy, kind of the last day for Buzzy, he was thieving a lot. And so his little body was really weak, and we knew it was time. And beautiful day, and we sat outside with him. We just sat outside with him, and he didn't have much energy, and Howard picked him up, and he just held him. And you could just feel the heart center. You could feel it, and I picked him up, and I just held him, and you could just feel he was still very much there in his heart. I mean, he was so there in his heart. Just, I love you so much, Mama, but he wasn't here anymore. But his heart, I mean, they emote so much differently than other dogs do. They do. And I remember when we first came to pick Buzz up, you guys had said something about training. You don't have them sit, like you don't train them the way another dog is trained. And I really
you don't teach them to shake, or you don't,
Anyway, so
beg for
I really believe that whatever you guys are doing down there is not emotionally damaging them. They come to us and their hearts are open and trusting. And that really, then you can kind of build on that foundation. Whereas other dogs may come from a different environment. There's a lot to say about the environment that they're coming from, that you are giving to them. And you're not damaging them. The loyalty of a dog will remain, but you're not damaging that heart part of them. And then that gets carried forward in the breed and passed down genetically through the mom. I really believe that. I do. I've thought about this from Buzz to Little Bear to Roscoe, and
we've
Buzz
never disciplined or had to discipline any of them ever.
No, Buzz was like the king. I mean, his attitude, you even said when we brought him home, you're like, this one, he's got a big willpower. And he was a little dog, he was a big dog trapped in a little dog's body. Yeah. He was awesome. I mean, it's not like the innocence in a way that he's not with what's going on around him, but the sweet just emotes from him. It's just sweet.
Just melts you.
And this one
every day, never gets old.
My mom had him for a weekend, this one. Howard and I, we had to go see our daughter at school, and Roscoe had there was a little situation with his fold that I wanted to, the ropes, and I wanted to make sure that my mom, somebody that was here was tending regularly to it. And my mom took him for the weekend, and it was Buzz and Little Bear at home. So we don't leave him alone. And I told her, I said, you cannot keep him. He's coming with you for a weekend and you cannot keep him. She had him 2 nights, and they bonded.
Forever. They have this bond.
She bought an emerald ring that is Roscoe's ring, and he is the prince. He is in a tuxedo that greets her whenever she comes over now. I mean, because he's respectful and kind and loving and everything that she doesn't know of a dog.
Yeah, right. She grew up with labs.
Yeah.
Every time, it was over a year ago, and every time she comes over to visit, which is twice a week, Roscoe is over the moon.
Her crowned prince is greeting her.
And he's not like that with everyone, He wants to be on her lap, and you can see the hearts coming out of his eyes for Grandma. It's really cute.
It's really cute. Yeah, I know. And so I do think the environment that you and Wendy are providing for the dogs in that, I mean, they're with you, many of them, 8 weeks, maybe a little bit more, but that short window really imprints a foundation that us as owners can build upon, where the dogs are cared for properly, and you really see their personalities are able to flourish versus staying in the box of a dog.
We were laughing the other day. I forget what it was, but Carolyn was, saying, no, and I just started laughing. I said, Carolyn, we've counted. They know, I think last count 26 different words. Yeah. They know cold, but I said they do not know the word no. That is not in their vocabulary. We never had to teach it to them.
No. The Little Bear wanted to play, and I said no, and he'd go roof.
Right. I mean, And
it's Sass's back.
You say no, and he just roof. Yeah, he thinks it means
and
yes.
You say no, and he'll go roof, roof, and he'll go no, and he'll go roof. It's really.
But yeah, he's got a whole basket of toys, and we can say, this is Dino. Go get Dino, and he'll go pick Dino out. Or one's called Gross Monkey, because it's this little
never
gross,
been washed,
dirty, germ-infested monkey, but it happens to be his favorite. So get gross monkey, and he'll dig through and it'll come up. I mean, we should. It's too much. We entertain our friends with it when they come over.
We could go on and on.
And this guy, I mean, Roscoe can hold his water for, I hate to say it, but almost 12 hours. I would never.
He won't go out.
I would never do that, but he has.
We'll go to bed.
On occasion, had to wait 12 hours and never had an accident. This guy, more like 6 or 7. But if he, on the rare occasion, that he needs to get out in the middle of the night, they both sleep with us. Obviously, I think that's a Royal Frenchel trait, but that's mandatory. But if he has to get out, if we don't let him out right before we go to bed because for whatever reason, maybe we had too much wine, he'll lick you on your neck or your shoulder. He'll just come up and just give you a gentle lick, and right away, boom. And he evens it out. And half the time he'll do it to Carolyn, and then he knows next time if it happens, he'll do it to me. So he's not being too much of an imposition. It's just amazing. And you never think twice. You just get up and you put your bathrobe on, you open the door, and he goes out and takes his pee and comes right back in and back to sleep again. So
I would say they're more curious about us than they are about. They're aware of their surroundings, but our other dogs would wander off. They would bolt. They would go. And these dogs, they want to stay with us. So when Howard's saying maybe we need to let them out to go potty, they're coming back. They're not. You don't have to watch them like they're going to run out. And
we used to have an electric fence for our bigger dogs, but it's gone now. These guys never go out of the yard. We don't have an electric fence or a physical fence.
They will not leave your side.
Even if a dog walker is coming by with 6 dogs, these guys just sit on the front porch and smile at them.
They will not leave your side.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they really are healthy too. I mean, they're low maintenance on that front. The vet bills are. I mean, Buzz was a one-off, but I think that was as much as our fault for getting him exposed. But these guys, other than like Carolyn said, little.
Oh yeah, just.
But we've got some antimicrobial wipes that we just wipe his ropes with once a week, and
he likes it.
Yeah, he loves it. It's spa day for Roscoe. But, you know what else is a unique feature with these dogs that I've never seen with any other breed is that they watch TV.
I know.
I mean, Buzz.
Oh my gosh.
He would, and if there was ever an animal would come on the screen, he'd be, jumping up, barking.
He had a high disdain for horses.
Yeah, if there were any horses, he would go crazy, trying to see them. And Little Bear, though, he'll sit on the end of the bed and he'll watch a whole movie. He doesn't need animals. He's like watching the movie, and I'll get in front of him, and I'm like, Carolyn, his eyes are. He's watching the characters on the
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. It's like House of Cards or something totally boring, And he's engaged for half an hour watching it. They do make life better. That's all I can say. That's the bottom line. I mean, Carolyn and I literally say that every day, don't we? Probably every single day. It's like, God, our life is so great with these guys. I mean, they just, wow.
So I'll leave you with one more story, right? As an example of kind of the intelligence. And so the intelligence is kind of like I'm making a decision for myself kind of a thing in terms of the dog. Okay, which dogs usually follow. Okay, so we took Buzz to a family reunion, and all the kids were there. I was worried about, of course, there's like a swimming pool and a hot tub, and Buzz is tiny. You remember he was a tiny, perfect man. And the kids, everyone just wanted to play with him, and he's in the mix. And I take the corner, and all the kids are in the hot tub with Buzz. And I'm worried about this because, a hot tub is about 105 degrees, and, you worry about dehydration, because he's so small. And I'm like, get him out of the hot tub. And he's sitting on somebody's lap, like he's ruling the hot tub. And I go to get him, and he backs away into the water up to here and just looks at me. And he wanted to stay in this hot tub with everybody like he's the king. It was so brilliant.
Like one of those Japanese monkeys, if you've ever seen those guys hang out in the natural hot springs.